needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want online through our mobile app or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Lisa Griffin of Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank. Well, some banks offer.
You see the signs everywhere. No alcohol if under 21. No tobacco under 21. No vaping supplies under 21. It's 21 for a reason.
Youth that use alcohol are more likely to engage in other risky behaviors, such as gambling. Learn the warning signs and how to talk to your children about addiction.
It's 21 for a reason. Brought to you by CIRAC and funded in partnership with SAMHSA. Find out more at CIRACCT.org.
Your community radio. Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And when they are stupid, it's funny.
You know, I listen to that intro every morning. And I always find out that you mumble. You mumble. He's still gonna mumble, okay. Doing it on purpose. I'm gonna tell everybody what I just did with the computer screen in a minute. Oh yeah. And I find that everything we say is stupid.
I don't know what to tell you.
So a couple of minutes ago, I was moving things around on the computer and moving a couple of tracks down or whatever. And the computer is right behind Paul. He turns around, he's watching it. So as he's watching it, you know how you highlight something, you can move it up and down, you know, on your screen or whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I'm watching Paul going up and down. And finally he looks at me and I'm like staring at him because I did it on purpose. Like I saw a squirrel. Are you even here right now?
I'm here.
All right.
I'm just ignoring you.
Well, you've been ignoring me since I said mumble.
Yep.
Well, we have an opening for a co-host on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays since Paul wants to just sit here and mumble and not talk.
This is Monday. I hate Mondays.
Huh?
I hate Mondays.
We can get through this, dude. We do it every
Monday. It's cold outside. You know.
That all you got? It's cold outside.
What the hell happened? Saturday was like, you know.
Yeah, it's like mid-spring, and all of a sudden, boom, it's midwinter.
I know.
I don't know what happened.
No, Mother
Nature, I really don't.
Mother Nature must have got ticked off at us about something.
I don't know. Yeah, it was like, what, 75 degrees?
It was gorgeous on Saturday.
Really, mostly last week.
But yeah, mostly last week. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that's it.
Yep.
Yesterday it rained.
Yeah.
And it was really.
It was kind of damp. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday was a fall day. It was a fall weather day.
Yes, it was. And now we're turned back into winter. Well,
yeah.
We're back to what November is supposed to be like.
Yes.
And as we all know, tomorrow night there's a wintry mix coming in.
Great.
Yeah. So it'll be our first sign of little mixture of rain and ice.
Well, we're giving you a little taste of it right now as Paul is sitting outside in a wintry mix.
I like that. I like sitting among the trees.
You do?
Yeah.
You don't even have a jacket on.
I know it. I can take it.
Yeah. Paul is outside in the tundra right now.
Yeah, I could take it. I can be out there in the cold.
It's amazing that he's warm enough for me out there.
Oh yeah.
Where is the tundra?
17 miles west of Northwest Mountain in Toodleville.
In Tundraville.
Well, whatever you want to call it. You call it tundra, I call it tundra.
I think it's so cool people forgot to turn on their damn computers this morning. The only one voicing their voice.
Yeah.
Daryl.
Daryl? Well, he's
from the Healthy Computer.
I would think his computers would be on all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he turns them off.
He said no heat in his shop today.
No heat?
No.
What
They
happened?
picked a great day for no heat, Daryl. Jeez.
Didn't pay your oil bill?
Why do you always go to like, oh, you didn't pay your bill?
Well, isn't that
Did you hang out with people that didn't pay their bills? So that's why you're sitting there going, didn't pay your bill?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's what I hear you say. Didn't do this. Didn't
Maybe
do that.
maybe because the power went off over the weekend.
I don't know.
You did lose power, right?
Yeah, for about 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, no, they said it was about an hour. No.
All I know is Melissa sent me a text message. Did we lose power? And matter of fact, she sent it 3 times. And when I looked at it, I'm like, oh. I looked at my alarm clock and I messaged her back and I said, possibly.
Why was it blinking?
I said, because I think I slept right through it if I did. So
yeah, was it blinking or was it?
No, my alarm clock doesn't blink. It just goes back to noon or 12.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
Gotcha.
or midnight, whatever. But it was because I looked at because when I rolled over and looked and it said 12:45, I'm like, holy crap, did I sleep that long? And you know that confusion, when you just wake up?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was, and for a minute, I don't know, did I sleep just a few hours extra in the morning or is it night?
What day is it?
I don't even know. Have I moved on?
Yeah. Well, it was nice that Lori put it out there that what the problem was.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even see it. Usually I catch what Lori Sorter said.
She put it out there.
It was a transformer, right?
No, something to the substation, she said.
Oh, all right. Well,
I mean, I think it's good now that Jewett City put the message out and says what the problem was, or which I think is good because then
absolutely,
then you don't have all these people talking on Griswold now. Well,
and I'm going to be honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I will share stuff and put stuff, in the news page, but we really focus on sports now, because people like to post their own news, and that's fine. Yeah. So have at it, so it makes it a lot easier on me.
Yeah.
And it's done a few things for me. Like, I'm not going to keep news on our website. It's just going to be like a shell website. So thank you, everybody that's posting. Saved me a ton of money on that. But we're just going to focus on sports. We'll share news stories and stuff, and post public service announcements and that kind of stuff on SNSN News. But I'm not going out, looking for news stories. I mean, if there's something that's really, really relevant, then I'll post it or something like that at a big meeting in town or whatever. But
no longer a reporter.
No, we do sports. I mean, we do sports and that kind of stuff, and we try to bring relevant topics in, and people to talk about those topics.
Sure.
So, Shayna, the illest, says good morning.
Good morning,
Laura. Good morning, Laura. Daryl says new landlord doing major stuff to the building. One of the issues he is working on. Was that heat or being a landlord? It's a couple different things.
Yeah. Well,
so they actually sold that building?
Maybe they did.
Well, if he's got a new landlord, yeah.
I guess so, yeah. Stand next to the computer, it'll be warm you right up.
Huh?
Computer will warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's not warm at all?
What's that?
Crypto.
Oh boy.
No, it's falling through the floor.
It's going way down. It was up for a couple days. It went up a little bit. Then it down again.
Yeah, like everything's Bitcoin, right? There's a million coins, but everything's Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And if Bitcoin isn't doing well, then they all don't do well.
I don't have Bitcoin.
No, I'm just looking at it.
I know,
it's like
it's way down. Everything is.
So like a year ago, Bitcoin was selling for $66,339 a coin. 66,000. You know what it's selling today?
What, 29?
15.
15?
It's down to 15.
Wow.
Talk about plummeting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's lost like 75% of their value. No, more than that. More than that.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
That is crazy. Now, if you knew it was going to come back,
You don't.
oh, man, you put some big money in there. Just wait, but you can't count on that.
Daryl said the building sold that he's in. Landlord is a really good guy. Glad I stayed. Well, Daryl, it's a good thing that he said he's a really good guy, that he's new, because if not, you'd be out on your butt thinking, what? You don't say anything bad about the guy.
Yeah. Maybe get a new furnace. New heat, man.
Rumor has it that Tom Brady and Giselle, whatever her name is now, invested $650 million in Bitcoin.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Can you imagine what they lost?
Maybe that's why he's playing football. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, wow. That's 650 million in Bitcoin.
Right, which is now worth 150 million, which is still not chump change, but
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Daryl says, and this is true, it's not a loss until you sell it.
Yeah. You can't, I mean, I don't know. You can call it. The best thing to do is just leave it there.
I got $100 in
Yeah, I think I have.
in Dogecoin.
Oh.
That's it. I have left. I just let it sit
I
there.
was up like at 250, but
Well, you and I just kind of played.
yeah, I mean,
We played a little bit, nothing serious.
nothing serious.
But it was just up and down, up and down. It wasn't anything.
Yeah.
For a while, like with Dogecoin, that was flying.
It was going pretty good.
You know, and then I stayed in it, and then it lost it all. And I'm like, oh well.
I might have been take it out. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Who said FTX Bitcoin? I don't think. I think FTX is a cryptocurrency. I don't think it's a Bitcoin. I don't think it's.
Well,
let me. I'm going to look, because now you got me wondering here. Facebook user.
Yeah. Well,
if that's your real name. Oh, it's Scotzo.
Oh.
Yeah, so now I'm going to look up FTX. Like, so that's its own. That's its own thing.
yeah, I think what I have Ethereum.
You had Ethereum last I knew, yeah.
I still do. Yeah, that's all I have.
But it's not just that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crypto. Laura says I cringe when I look at when I open my quarterly 401k statement.
Oh Jesus, don't tell me that. I mean, I look at mine and I get scared. I really do. I mean, the last time I looked at it, I about faded. You know, it's like, what the hell? You know, it's going to be tough for me to bring it back.
My 401k, it's in the International Bank of Maxwell House tin cans.
I know people who have taken lump sums out and actually took it and put it in the bank. Seriously. Because what the hell? I mean, I wish I would have known, because I never really wanted to touch any of the money I had in my finances. You know, I just left them there. Yeah. And being my age, I have to take so much every year as part of an RMD.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to touch it. But if I would have known, I would have taken a big lump out, popped it in the bank myself, because it's terrible right now.
Yeah, but there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas, Paul.
I know.
Come on.
But
you don't know.
Yeah, well, you know. I don't know if it'll ever come back.
Well, Paul, you can't take it with you.
No, but I want to have it in there just in case.
Let's see. Scott says, Scott, where did you join the show from today? Because that's just showing you as Facebook user. You didn't click the thing that said your name could be used. But anyway, no one in Washington, D.C. is losing money. I guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking of Washington, D.C., you know, this is like this, you know, the 7 degrees to whatever. because we started off the cold, and all of a sudden we like, guess what's not warm today? Oh, crypto.
Yeah.
And now it's like we're talking about crypto losing money. Oh, yeah, guess who's not losing money? People in Washington. Hey, what's going on with the election? What's going on in the House and the Senate? See, we just kind of move right along. The Facebook. Scott's on. Hey, there he is. Look at that handsome mug right there. Look at that. Hubba.
Well, where it is what it is. Nothing going to change by the sounds of it. And if we don't, I hope things balance out where at least we have one controlling the House, one controlling the Senate. That way, hopefully they'll balance.
So is Pelosi still the speaker?
Not yet. Well, she's still a speaker because the House is still up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
well, she's a reptilian.
Well, she's claiming the reason why the Republicans are losing is because they were beating up on her husband. Yeah.
Not about you. Not about you, Nance. Not about you.
Yeah, because the way people were being mean about her husband.
Not about you, Nance. Not about you.
A lot of people felt sorry for her that they voted Democrat.
Not about you, Nancy. Yeah. Not about you.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Called a ambulance.
Yeah.
I feel horrible for her husband. I mean that.
Well, something. I don't know. There's all kinds of stories. The story I heard was.
Oh boy.
The guy was in the house when the cops were there.
Yeah. I wonder how he got there.
He walked in.
Yeah.
There was no security. He wasn't even on.
Yeah. Why?
He was already in there.
He turned it off.
He didn't do anything. And then when the cops were in there, eventually he just started to pick the hammer up and beat him. When the cops were there. So you kind of wonder, what the hell was the guy doing in their house to begin with?
How do you think he got there?
Just walked in. That's the story.
Why was it unlocked?
That's the question. Why wasn't there any security or whatever?
Who unlocked?
Who unlocked it? Nancy. I mean, who knows? I know.
Whoa. I'm not saying that, are we?
She was in Washington. So.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Oh, really? Yeah, that even makes it worse.
Yeah, she was in Washington. But, you wonder what the hell was the doors being open,
It's a terrible thing. And
definitely it's not a good thing to have.
No, you don't want to wish, no matter how
not.
much you hate a politician or something like that, you don't want to wish
of course not.
That kind of crap on somebody. No. That's,
No.
That's ultimately evil.
Yeah. But
weird that she wasn't there though on the night of the attack.
Yeah. You don't think she's worrying about the price of oil and the price of food, do you?
No.
No.
You see the price of eggs?
Yeah, like $5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We paid $5.19 for an 18-pack. Dozen and a half the other day.
Yeah. Eggs are up.
Why?
Supply and demand.
Chickens are chickens on strike? Do they want more medical benefits? What?
Who the hell knows? Well, people are complaining they're only paying $2 a pound for chicken.
Do you realize how much eggs were a dozen a year ago?
Yeah, probably what, 2.5?
No, like 38 cents.
Oh, a piece?
No, a dozen. You could get them a year and a half ago. A dozen at Walmart and Aldi's. No joke. You didn't know this?
No, because we don't buy eggs.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Between 35 and 60 cents a dozen.
Wow.
Yeah. So now it's 10 times that?
Wow.
Come on.
Maybe you need to get yourself some chickens.
Daryl says, "What about maybe it's the cost of the grain to feed the chickens?"
Well, that's
a possibility. I wonder. These are these questions that I really want to ask Court Kinney.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the price of food to feed the. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So and probably the cost of the diesel to bring the chicken feed to the chickens.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true too. So interesting. I mean, everything is going up.
Laura says it's because of the chicken farms catching on fire and the bird flu.
Yeah, I believe the bird flu. Yeah, that's why turkeys are up.
Yeah, they're like triple the price, if not more.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, people like to have turkey for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
but
You know what we're having for Thanksgiving?
what?
Hamburger Helper.
No, you're not.
Hamburger Helper. How do you know what we're not having?
You're not going to have hamburger helper. No. You're going to have turkey. Who you kidding? Or ham.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
The cost of pigs are up too. All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Of course, the cows don't care. They're saying eat more chicken.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. So, no, it's going to be tough. A lot of people are going to be hurting.
Hey, Victoria. How are ya? Where you been?
So I guess either you buy a turkey or you buy 3 gallons of oil. Imagine that.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
What it comes down to. Yeah.
Mm.
But oil's up at 5 something. Turkey's how much a pound? So if you buy, maybe you can do a little butter. I'll give you 4 gallons of fuel oil for 1 turkey.
People are, they're really concerned. About heating. I've never seen it like this. What was it, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago? Oil went up to about $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
Gas was up to almost $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, this is horrible. And then it went down again and everything.
But when fuel oil went up a few years ago, you didn't have the price of food up either. It was just the fuel.
I know. I'm not so confident this time that it's going to go down again.
No.
I'm really not.
No. So I don't know. Of course, Joe's blaming it on the oil refineries, and he's not going to allow any more drilling.
But remember what 10, 12 years ago, everybody said, it'll come back down again, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what about you? Do you think it's going to come down? What do you guys think that are watching the show? Do you think that are you confident that the prices are going to come down once again to a comfortable level? Or do you think that they are creating a new normal?
They do not want you to be able to use fossil fuels. They want to get you off of them.
Why?
Because they want everything to be battery operated.
Okay.
That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's their deal. All the environmentalists are after to get you off of fossil fuel. He wants to shut all the coal plants down. What is that going to do?
New York just became another state to get rid of gasoline-powered cars by 2035. Think about it. That's not that far away.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Regardless.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the other problem you're going to have is that fact that they're going to keep driving the price. Well, let's look at what they wanted to. Let's use another scenario here. Okay. Cigarettes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They didn't want you to smoke. Right? They want you to stop smoking. What did they do with cigarettes? $10 a pack.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people gave up cigarettes because they couldn't afford to pay for, cigarettes.
Yeah. Well,
they're doing
$10 a pack, and that's Connecticut. There's a huge tax on tobacco in Connecticut.
Yeah.
You go to other states, like when I was we were in Florida.
Yeah.
Cigarettes cost of the pack. Now I'm not condoning cigarette smoking, but it's half.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like Connecticut has some of the highest gas tax and the tobacco tax in the country.
Yeah. Well, I
don't drive while you're smoking.
I don't know how they expect people. What are they going to do with all the cars that run on fossil fuel?
I don't know.
Park them?
I know. Going to recycle them?
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
I mean, what the hell? There's so many cars on the road with fossil fuel.
Daryl makes a good point though about chicken, the chicken discussion.
Yeah.
The largest exporter of corn for chickens, Russia.
Oh. Yeah, there you go.
Now Victoria says she's sad. I'm sorry you're sad. The transmission in her car is going and just got a quote $4,200
for transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which couple years ago, maybe it was like a $1,800 job.
Yeah.
2000, maybe.
2000. Yeah. Yeah.
Melissa's daughter Samantha. She bought a car, which regardless of who advised her of what, I mean, I got nothing to say about nothing, but but everybody told her, don't buy the car. Even the guy that sold it to her, don't buy the car. Well, it's a BMW. She's gonna buy the car.
Yeah.
Status symbol, right?
Well, Beamers are
sure.
I call it a chick car.
Yeah.
Everybody, a lot of chicks, they call chick cars.
So oil changes $90.
Yep.
Okay. But now there's like everything wrong with it.
Yeah.
To get it fixed, and it's at a garage right now. Well, it's home now, but it was at a garage that specializes in foreign cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's a local garage that specializes in that.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost over $5,000 to fix everything that is wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whew. No. Yeah, Victoria said she was expecting between 2,000 and 2,500, which is, yeah.
And you're stuck too, because now you really have a hard time trying to trade it in.
Huh?
The only alternative is to get transmission out of a junkyard, which might be cheaper,
Yeah.
But then you're taking the chance.
You're taking a chance at that point. Yeah.
It may not be $4,000. Yeah. So you get a junk transmission, you put a couple of thousand in the transmission, get rid of the car.
Yeah. So getting back to the BMW, I mean, I'm not going to say anything because I mean, I'm not my business to get involved in.
Well, any of those European cars that if you have them with low mileage, they're fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as they got high mileage on them and you start to do repairs on them,
yep,
they're all the same. They're all going to cost you an arm and a leg. Pair of windshield wipers on the Audi that I got, which they gave me because they were late. They gave me a pair of wipers. I said, okay, give me a pair of wipers, big freaking deal. And the guy said, you know how much those wipers are? $100 for a freaking pair of wipers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, years ago, 20 years ago plus, we had a minivan. Yeah. And one of the things that were going a lot, we found out on the minivans are not the wipers themselves, but the arms.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find them.
Really?
You couldn't find them at all. So we actually found a set it was in Colchester at a junkyard. They had them. You know how much they sold them? $150 just for the arms.
Just the arms.
Yeah, right off of another
minivan.
Yeah, Plymouth Voyager.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure all car parts are up now. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah. But I'm talking like 20 years ago. It was because
Yeah. And minivans, especially Plymouth Dodge minivans, were very popular back years ago because they were.
Yeah.
Everybody had one. Yeah. Well, like anything else, everything is up, 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 up. But you can't think about it because it'll drive you nuts. You just can't think about it. Yeah.
But what do you do?
You can't let it bother you.
Well, no, because it'll drive you.
Oh, it'll drive you nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people living from paycheck to paycheck. Trust me.
Maybe now is not the perfect time for this, but we let me see if I can go ahead and I want to. There we go. I don't know if you can. Oh, Jesus. One of the things that we are doing here at SNSN is we're every so often I get this need to go ahead and try to create something for that I don't know that I would think personally is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as like like something for the town.
Yeah.
That it's kind of town orientated that somebody may want to get. And I've been wrong every time. Nobody wants any of it ever. So I'm like, okay. But just the same. Let's see, I want to do.
Yeah.
What the? I don't want that. Oh my God. Sometimes it's not even there.
What are you selling?
Not selling anything. Well, I guess I am, but.
Will you take a gallon of fuel oil for that?
No, all I know is that this Firefox is ridiculous.
Well, yeah. It seems like every other day they're upgrading something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do something.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. It's not easy to.
Yeah.
Hi. What's up? Are you on air? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, later.
Why? You can.
Okay, so we have room for new patients now,
Yeah.
and we just hired like 4 new therapists, so we had open.
I heard you guys took the entire room over there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at Paragon. For people that don't know, 70 Main Street here in Jewett City.
Like Jeremy House. Yeah, so we have room for clients.
Yeah.
And I was going to see if we could have
How long are you going to be here today?
all day.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. I'll see you later. You can just jump in anytime, We're lonely and friendly. Yeah, no problem. One of our co-tenants here at Paragon.
Mm-hmm.
I dig that. I dig this place, man. I really do. Oh yeah. So anyway, what are you selling? Well, believe me, folks, or Paul, if you think for one instant that any of this stuff that I ever offer is something that's going to put us on the map financially, you're off your tree. I just put things out and I sell them, because I don't want to lose money on them, but I just think they're kind of cool. So my latest thing is this.
What is it?
It's a little ornament that you can put on your Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm. If you can afford a Christmas tree.
Oh, shut up.
It's going to be a Charlie Brown year.
And stepping in as Debbie Downer this year, Paul Lash. Yeah, that right there is a picture of the gazebo.
Oh.
And it's all lit up. Got all the new snowflakes that Pepe Thibodeau put up.
Yeah, some new ones.
Yeah, did it all himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he does it every year. Fixes the gazebo up.
Yeah.
And it's a photo that's put right up on the ornament, and something you can put on your tree. So,
how much is that ornament?
It's $15.
So that's about 2.5 gallons of fuel oil.
You're such a jackass. I swear to God. Let's go. Let's put SNSN right out of business. How much are your ads? Oh, that's 10 gallons of fuel oil. God, you're toxic. We need that therapist back over here to tell you. No wonder we've been dying. It's you.
You can't blame that on me. I'm only pointing out reality.
You big dummy. So anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
$15.
Yeah. And I haven't sold any.
Well, it's kind of early.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true.
Early yet.
Actually, here's the thing. I have them on my Etsy store and sell them there.
Yeah.
People in town don't buy them.
Well, because a lot of people probably from places that don't have a winter scene like that, so
I
they're probably
know.
buying them. But
Well, yeah, because it's like an old. I just put it up an old town country Christmas,
Sure, people
right?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's that.
No.
I thought that was, but anyway, we have those.
Yeah, it's kind of early. Kind of early yet. People are still looking at.
And you know, they're
still looking at things.
Right. But see, I just do it because I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because I think somebody might want that. Nah, nobody wants it. At least not anybody in Jewett City or Griswold. I did all these Griswold vampire T-shirts, right? Because trying to put something on the map for people to come. Do you think anybody wanted them? No. But you ask them what they want. I don't know. Why don't we get a shirt that says Jewett City? I don't know.
There you go.
Griswold. I don't know. I'm a grizzled NIMBY.
I don't think people walk around with that.
And Victoria says, you're not wrong, unfortunately. So how many gallons of fuel oil is your transmission going to cost you?
A lot.
Huh? You got to make a choice, Victoria.
It's going to be a lot of tank.
Is it warmth? Or you can just put your car heater on and sit in that for a while.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Let's see. Daryl says $15 is 3 dozen eggs.
See?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We never compared prices.
Or you can or you can get 4 dozen eggs, or you could pay Daryl, or you can just watch a YouTube video.
Oh, I got you. I got you on that one.
Go ahead, Daryl. Knock us down some more. Jerk.
Oh boy. But it is.
I honestly, I
look
watched.
how we're comparing.
I watched a YouTube video on how to fix a computer. You know what happened? I called Daryl anyway.
But look what we're doing. We have never compared purchasing something against a commodity that we need.
Yeah.
Never.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's funny.
Well, that's like the whole title that I put here of today's broadcast is basically the cost of stuff. How many we put. It was spring. Now it's pretty much winter.
Yeah.
How much are we thinking about the cost of oil fuel now? And look at what we've gotten into.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate too, because here in the East, we're the ones in the Northeast, we're the ones that are pretty much hurting as far as fuel oil.
It's not just us.
Well,
I mean, we can sit here and cry foul and all, but honestly, it's all over the country. I mean, look at the people in the Dakotas. They get freezing.
They get pretty cold.
Minnesota, upstate New York, New York in general.
Yeah.
So you can't just say it's, oh, woe is me here in New England.
Yeah.
It gets worse in some of the other states.
Well,
have you seen some of the videos from Minnesota?
Yes.
In the middle of the winter?
That's pretty cold. Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're giving all this money elsewhere. Why aren't we giving money to help people with fuel oil? Or why aren't we making fuel oil at a reasonable cost? I don't know.
Maybe we should have saved the money instead of buying home theater systems.
What do you mean home theater system? Why? What's wrong with that?
Well, could have saved the money for
a
rainy day or a cold rainy day.
People were not aware. I mean, maybe the last 6 months, because you got to remember what was happening.
Why do you have a 401k?
Oh, it's always been a 401k.
Why?
A plan because you don't have anything to retire on.
Oh, it's a plan, right?
It's a plan
in case something happens.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Like now.
Yeah.
And you're saying, well, people weren't expecting this. Well, we don't expect any of this shit.
True. I don't know. It's, we had an opportunity to change everything around. Nothing happened. So.
Victoria says it's funny because my family always sweats in the car because I crank the heat because it's free. The house is set at 62.
Yeah.
put on a sweater.
Yeah. No, that's true.
We started running a PSA that you had set about propane heaters, right?
Space heaters.
Space heaters.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us the lowdown on that?
Well, I think what it comes down to with space heaters, and I think a lot of people are going to start to use them now, is you definitely want to buy one that's not a cheap thing, something that's really decent, something that has. You don't want to put them close to any combustible type. In other words, don't put it up against your couch.
Right.
And you want to get the ones that if you knock it over, shuts it off. And the other thing you want to do is you don't plug it into an extension cord. You plug it directly into the outlet because it will heat up.
Preferably a GFI.
Yeah.
I would think.
Well, you can plug it into a regular outfit, but you don't want to plug it into one of those extended.
Oh, no. Because they can't handle it.
They can't handle it. It'll actually cook.
You could melt it and start a problem.
Yeah. And the other thing you want to do is you make sure you turn it off before you go to bed. You don't want to leave it unattended.
Right.
So that's the important thing about space heaters. And definitely if they're propane you don't want to put those in the house, for Christ's sakes. You know, that's smelly gas that could kill you, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, don't take the warmer that you have on the back porch and put it in the living room.
No.
That's not
no. So I mean, so I think what you're going to find is a lot of people are going, yeah, okay. I think you're going to find a lot of people turning to electric heaters.
Yeah.
Because they're, they're pretty much, you come into a room, it's instantaneous. Turn it on, it heats the room right up.
Ceramic heaters. How do you feel about those?
I don't know. I never used them myself, so I don't have one. But they were pretty popular a few years ago. They were selling those heaters. I mean, when a lot of places you'd go to a fair or something like that, they'd be selling these heaters. The ones that were supposed to.
Well, the little ones. They have little ones that suppose. I have a friend that actually has these little heaters, and she has 2 of them, and she says they work incredible.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
So I mean, it's either you pay to put a price on, you're going to pay for the price of power, electricity. So, but definitely get something that
we have a couple of fireplaces, right?
Yeah.
So we have one downstairs and one upstairs, and they're right on top of each other, with one chimney and everything. But we don't use them.
Yeah.
We've never started a fire, in them at all. Then we had a chimney guy come and look at it and said, because then we said, well, what about, a heating source? And he goes, no, you don't ever want to use this as a heating source because really, he goes, the heat just goes right through, up the chimney. It's not like a wood stove. There's nothing, putting the heat in.
Yep.
So we said, all right. So we Melissa's mother last year, we've had it over a year, got us this. It's about, I don't know, maybe 2 feet long. And it looks like you plug it in. It looks like a fake log,
sure.
Right? But then it's got a heater,
yep,
a legit heater on it.
Yeah.
You leave that on, that heats up the entire living room.
Oh, sure.
But not only that, Paul, it's been fairly economical. We have not noticed a difference in our heating bill. In our electric bill. Yeah. So I'm not saying go out and do this. I'm saying this is just
But it just goes to show you that you're probably using that rather than turning on the furnace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, your furnace is probably running because that's where you have water.
We haven't turned the heat on yet.
Yeah.
We haven't turned the heat on yet.
Yeah, because I think people are being much cautious about turning their heat on.
Of course.
I'm
going to wait till January.
Well,
no.
If you think about it, when you go to bed, you don't really need heat because you're under the covers. It's that initial shock when you get up in the morning that's kind of cool. You go into the shower, go in the bathroom, close the door, turn the shower on. Excuse me, hot water.
Yeah,
steam gets in there, so that kind of warms it up for you.
Then you get out.
So these are the these are the kinds of things that you got to think about now. Where before you crank it up,
but then you got children. And young adults that don't understand the economics of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because they don't pay the bill,
Right.
or they probably have even seen the bill,
Right.
that's what happens, and it has happened.
Yeah.
Or we'll leave our air conditioners on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in our little 12 by 12 room.
Yeah.
With the door closed. You know, I mean, so
Yeah.
But you know what? I was a kid. I did the same stuff. You know, if I was cold in the wintertime, turn right there. Yeah. And I turned to like 85.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because I figured it would heat up quicker. No, it just keeps heating until it gets there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to come up with an alternative method to heat their houses or their heat rooms per se. Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to this one. Wait a minute. All right, here we go. I had to back up a little bit, so I'm behind. All right, Jen Goffey. Hey, good morning, Jen. Yes, oil and gas are expensive, but I would argue that we should be limiting the company's profit. That we should be limiting the company's profit margins. They are at an all-time high. This needs to be reined in, and costs would come down.
Yeah.
Government doesn't want to do that. They're making too much damn money.
That's right.
Shayna says, I'll just keep it at 55.
Which is not, 55 is really not that warm.
I know, but you know what? And she makes a good point here. Shayna, she goes, we didn't come from a world where you just wear shorts all the time.
No, we didn't.
Kids today,
yeah,
just want to wear shorts.
Yeah.
Or sweatpants.
Yeah.
Or.
Well, it's going to take it. We've been kind of fortunate because we haven't gotten used to the cold yet because it's been so warm up to this point. But give us a few more weeks of this cool weather, then we'll start to get used to temperatures in the 30s will be nothing.
You're gonna
a
love
month from now because when it's down in the 10s and 20s, 30s will feel like it's warm.
Paul, you're gonna love this.
Uh-oh.
Daryl says, "Be careful not to burn your friggin' house down."
That's on there too.
Yeah. See, if for those of you that don't know, Paul last year cut a PSA and sent it in. And at the end, it was about candles, right? It's candle safety. And it's just at the end, just be careful or you'll burn your friggin' house down. We had a lot of comments. So, for the five largest global oil companies have reported results combining for nearly $50 billion in net income. This is ridiculous, Jen Gothier says. We should be targeting this issue, but politicians won't because they are the biggest donors.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of what I just said. They're making the most money and doing, special interest group.
Blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah. Victoria goes, I have mixed feelings on that. Should the government regulate how much money a business can make? I feel like the government targeted these companies when Biden took over, and now see it's political. Okay, moving on. I don't like to get, I'm sorry, Victoria. I know you have your beliefs in that, but I just I need to stay away from the whole Republican versus Democrat thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem talking about Democratic policy or Republican policy, but when we start going against each other, because when the Republicans say because of you and the Democrats will because of you, I'd say I just got to stay away from that. But I still love you. Let's see. Shana said they had a chimney fire as a kid. That was pretty scary.
Yeah, they rumble up when you use a chimney fire. They rumble a lot. You think there was really a lot of heat.
Because it's strange how they ran all the gas lines a couple of years ago for natural gas. And Jewett City, I wonder how many people switched over from oil and how many of the what's the difference between the two? Oh, yeah, let's talk about the delivery charge. I'm not going anywhere near Eversource because of that crazy delivery charge. Just not.
Yeah.
I lived in an area where we had Eversource, had to have Eversource.
Yep.
It was the most expensive electric company I've never been associated with or used. Where does this stupid fictitious delivery charge come
Well,
from?
they don't have any distribution, so they have to purchase power just like everybody else does. They buy it on the open market.
Yeah.
And they get these contracts. So that's what the delivery charge is, I believe, because they don't generate it at all. They used to.
All right. So 1 month you get a $200 delivery charge, and then another month you get an $800 delivery charge. That's realistic. That's horseshit.
I don't know all I know is it has to do with distribution of power. They don't, I don't know. They don't have any, there's no power plants. They don't own any.
I know, but
They don't own any.
But neither does JCDPU.
They buy it from Eversource.
Right, but why don't we have that delivery charge?
I don't know.
Well, see, there you go.
There's probably a contract they probably have with Jewett City.
Now, Victoria just said our delivery charge is 3 times our electric cost. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Unless you've had Eversource, I know you worked for them and everything, but for the longest time, and you're probably loyal to them, and that's okay.
I'm not saying I'm loyal to
No. I'm saying if you are, I mean, I would understand that. Or anybody should.
Yeah.
But when, like Victoria said, and I completely understand this because I've seen this, when your delivery charge is 3 times your actual electric cost, don't tell me that's realistic. That's price gouging at its best. Because you know why? Because you're a captive customer. There's nothing you can do. It's like, and if you don't pay it, guess what? They're going to shut you down.
Yeah.
Do you think they care? Honestly?
No.
I
hear you. But they have to go on the open market just like everybody else to get contracts for power supplies. They do these contracts long part of the season. Now, at one time, they did have their own generation. At one time, they generated their own power, and you never saw a distribution charge because it was all included in the bill.
Yeah,
because they had their own distribution.
But if you take
but years ago, what happened was our legislatures thought that by having them sell off their distribution, that it would make it competitive, and that's why you get this Green Mountain and all these different other utility companies that you can purchase from. Okay. And they did that for that reason.
Resellers.
And that's why they made, at the time, was Northeast Utilities, get rid of all their distribution. And that's why they don't have any today. But I wonder what would have happened if we didn't do that, if they continued to keep their distribution.
So tell me this, and try to make sense of this, because I can't.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we know. Jewett City Department of Public Utilities, you said, buys their electricity from Eversource.
As I know, yes.
Okay. Let's just say it is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless if it is or isn't, whatever it is, let's just say that it is.
Yeah.
Look at that cost you get, and you take the same amount of electricity and you go over to a Canterbury customer, and let's say it's the same.
Yeah.
Yet, the Canterbury customer is paying, as Victoria says in her last bill, $240 in delivery cost. Yet, that's $72 in electric is, with JCDPU, it's $72. But with Eversource, it's $312. Tell me how to justify that. They don't. When you have a captive customer and then they know, you are screwed.
Yeah. I don't.
Don't tell me the DPUC, because they don't regulate the delivery charge.
I don't know what the stuff. I've been gone for so long that I don't know what they're doing, but I don't know if the Public Utility Commission has something to do with it. I don't know. I have no clue. Because they are governed. they are governed by the state of Connecticut.
Not the delivery charge.
I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We had, I mean, we couldn't wait to get the hell out of Canterbury. Not because we didn't like Canterbury, but we couldn't afford it. I mean, a little town like that, we couldn't afford. I had an EverSource electric bill. It was $814.
Wow.
Because of the delivery charge. Was $6 change.
Wow.
The delivery charge was like $600 change.
Speaking of delivery.
Yeah, special delivery. So anyway, are you gonna sit there or are you gonna come over here? Get over here, Mr. Barney. Come on. Jim Barney has stopped by.
Well, he's got delivery charges.
Yeah. So we are talking. Ooh, get you there.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim.
Good morning. Morning,
So-
Paul. Morning.
So right now we're talking about electricity and the cost of it, delivery charge. So maybe you can shed some light on this.
Why would you think I could?
Because you're smart.
Uh,
So all right, so let's we're assuming that JCDPU
Yeah.
gets their or buys their electricity from EverSource. We're assuming.
I don't know the answer to that. They used
Right,
to.
no, they used to, but I don't know.
used to,
I don't know if
John.
that's the case now. But let's just, for argument's sake, let's say they do. Right.
Okay, yeah.
So let's say you accrue a bill of $72 or $70, from your JCDPU.
Is that a weekly bill?
No, I'm just using it as a number.
I'm just being a little
Yeah.
sarcastic.
I know where you're going. I understand. Then you have customers like Canterbury,
Yeah, what?
out in Canterbury, or even Griswold somewhere, that has EverSource. Same $72 bill. Yet the difference is that the EverSource invoice comes with a $240 delivery charge. This is the question, is that if JCDPU, and I know I'm missing something somewhere, that's why I'm asking, because I want to know where I'm missing. But if JCDPU is buying it from EverSource, why is the JCDPU? Because we're lucky here. I think the Jewett City Department of Public Utilities, what we pay for electricity is great. But you're paying over $300 because EverSource has this big old delivery charge. But JCDPU doesn't, and they're buying it from the same people that charge the delivery charge. You following me?
I do.
Okay. So can you make any kind of sense of that?
I can't. And of course, I mean, if Paul can't, who worked for EverSource, I certainly can't. I mean, it's, I mean, I haven't looked at the bills recently, but I compared, because I mean, I've heard about Jewett City electricity being very inexpensive relatively.
The mighty borough.
And when I looked at bills, and I haven't done this for 4 or 5 years, so I can't say, but I looked at my home bill, and I looked at the when I put it all in and came up with a cost per kilowatt hour, there was a difference, but it wasn't huge. Okay,
Mhm.
That's only in
Right,
my
no.
one particular analysis. Okay. I doubt that there's any electric utility in the nation that probably is as efficient as the Jewett City Department of Public Utilities electric thing. They operate they operate that basis, that operation with 2 linemen.
Yeah.
And Ken Sullivan, the director, I have seen him out there
Cutting trees.
yeah, pouring rain,
Yeah.
helping the guys do the job that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I applaud Ken for that, and I applaud his workers for the job that they're doing, and also for the fact that they're working with management as closely as they do.
Lead by
Yeah,
example.
I don't think
right?
there's any kind of union involved with
Right.
Jewett City. That makes the big difference, because when you get into the bigger companies, management can't, other than a major disaster, can't go in and start doing work to take away from union employees. I think that's the difference. That's why he can do it, because it's non-union.
I think that's a big part of it too, Paul.
Yeah.
And just overall efficiency. You see EverSource crews out, and there's 2 or 3 managers. Well, I don't know if they're all managers. 2 or 3 guys standing
Mhm.
out on the street looking at the sky.
Laura
That's a
says,
lot of overhead.
Laura says, when we talked to someone about going solar, he gave us the breakdown as far as what the delivery charge actually consists of. Several factors are included in that charge. Part of it are improvements to the infrastructure, which will take years and years to support an all-electric environment.
She's absolutely right.
Daryl, if there was another big electric company to go against Eversource, then you'd see pricing come down. That's what I said. When you got a captive audience and that's the only show in town, then
And it's the same with all the utilities. The cable in particular is the one that annoys me. But there was another comment that I was going to make, and I've lost it at the moment, but it'll come back.
Now Jen says JCDPU is municipally owned, not for profit, all in caps, that exists to provide reliable, cost-effective electric and wastewater services to the community.
Another excellent response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't have stockholders.
Right.
They don't have to give stockholders money with any kind of stock dividends.
And I'll tell you, one of the not other than the fact that our life when we moved back to Jewett City was, we always hear anyway.
Yeah.
We always ended back in Jewett City, Griswold, for everything that we did, even though we lived in Canterbury for a spell. One of the things, and this is not even a joke, that we were kind of like, yeah, Jewett City Department of Public Utilities. I'm not kidding you. I mean, we knew that our bill was going to be lower. You know, we're going to get a lot more bang for our buck. So,
I mean, we did have one electric bill this summer. I think it was $612 from Eversource. Now, she did run the air conditioning a lot. The heat bothers her tremendously. And we're not as careful about turning lights off as we maybe could be.
Yeah.
But still, it was I think it was $612. I think that was for the month of August.
So, you know, we ran 3 air conditioners. I think the highest bill, I think Melissa's, because she's the one that monitors the electric more so than I do. And I think the highest bill was like $160.
Mm-hmm.
Where if we did that on Eversource, that'd be a $500-600 bill.
Well, we do have central air in this house, which is the first house we've had central air in when we built it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would not do that again. I think the window air conditioners on a per unit basis maybe are more expensive to run, but you're not cooling. I mean, we have 2 zones. We either cool the upstairs, the downstairs, or both. If you use the window air conditioners, I mean, she lives in her sewing room most of the day, and I'm in my office or out most of the day. I don't even have air conditioning in my office. I mean, well, I guess if the downstairs air conditioning is running, I do have it, but air conditioning is not important to me. It's extremely important to her.
Have you ever, either one of you guys, ever looked into the viability of solar as far as pricing is concerned?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I had one where I had a gentleman come, and this is when we owned a house on Hill Street. Everything he told us, it was still going to cost us more, no matter what. You know, oh, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you know, blah, blah, blah. These solar panels go for 30 years. And after the monthly cost, you know, after installation and stuff like that, and then what we were going to save on electricity, we're paying in equipment.
Yeah.
There was no, I kept saying to the guy, where is the savings? You came here saying you're going to have savings. Dollar for dollar. It's the same thing. Well, actually, it was like $4 more, $5 more to go with his solar program.
Well, I don't know if you recall, but Jason Jackaruso from DEF and myself, we were the kind of the honchos for the solar program that was here in Griswold and Jewett City.
Yep.
And I had my house evaluated. And for me, it was more than just trying to save a few dollars in electricity. For me, it was more about having my own source of electricity in case there was major grid problems nationwide and you couldn't get electricity in here, because our electrical infrastructure nationwide is in very bad shape. I would have probably done it except that I have a lot of trees on the east side of the property and some on the west. I was getting good solar sun during the middle of the day, but I didn't have it early in the morning till probably 11 o'clock, and I would lose it probably around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So to me, it wasn't there. But the thing I was also going to do was I was going to have it grid tied, but I was also going to, which means it was tied into the grid to feed back to the grid, and then
Sell
you
it
get
back?
credit for, you get credit for that. But for me, it was more important to be independent of the grid if I ever had to be, which then that then required the investment probably of another few $1,000s to set up my own inverters and all the rest of that and the switching and stuff like that.
See, one of the things that the guy told me is that after he looked at my electric bill, he said we don't even we don't even have a system that, because I said, can we just do it all? You know, if we're going to do it, like just go completely solar. He said, well, with the kilowatt hours that you use, you're still going to need a backup electric company. Still going to need the electric company.
And that was certainly my intention, was to use was to still be grid tied. But I also wanted to be independent of it.
So to me, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, if I'm going to get a solar panels, right, and you know, it'll give us 80% of our electricity. It's like getting a car, buying 80% of the gas, and you got to walk the rest of the way.
Well,
What the hell do I want to do that for?
Because I think the payback on my system was about 7 or 8 years for what I was going to have to put into it.
This guy
But of
quoted me
course-
20 years.
Huh?
20 years.
Yours was? Yeah. But that was when there was a lot of state money out there pushing solar.
Yeah, there was no, I think there was
Yeah.
some small rebates.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about significant rebates whenever that program was, and that's, geez, that's
Yeah.
got to be 6, 7 years ago, I guess now. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if Jewett City Electric was really supporting solar.
they were not.
Right.
What about now?
I don't know.
See, I heard, and I heard this to be false, but that you couldn't put solar panels on your house in the borough. Now, I've heard that to be untrue, but I've also heard it to be true. So I don't really know what the answer is.
I would think it's untrue.
I would think so too.
Because I mean, that's just an infringement on your own rights. Now, you might
Mhm.
not have been able to tie it into the Jewett City electric lines.
Right.
That may have been the case, but as far as putting solar panels on and operating independently,
Yeah, that's your own thing.
That's your own thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's, you know, your roof's got to be in good shape. If it's not, then you got to have it re-roofed, because once they put the panels down, you can't be taking them off to fix your roof. So there's a lot of things behind trees. You can't have any trees.
I mean, my roof was probably, it was a 30-year roof, but it was probably 12 or 14 years into that. So there was a high probability I was going to need to replace my roof, which would have meant removing the solar panels and then reinstalling them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what happens when the solar cells go bad? What they say, 20, 25 years? Got to replace them anyway. So
Well, there's another thing about the whole green thing.
Yeah.
And that is disposing of the solar panels in a safe and environmentally safe manner. And in my opinion, it's a much larger problem with all the electric vehicles and the batteries.
So what about the solar farms, like the one we have on 138?
Mhm.
That's just selling it. You know, they're selling the power right back to Eversource.
Mhm.
Nothing's changing. It's not a better value. The only thing they're selling is it's more green. It's green. It's green. It's not a better value.
One of the things I heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, but on that investment out there, well, number one, they're currently, I do not believe, are paying any taxes on that
not. Right,
project.
yeah.
Okay. And
They got a sweet deal.
And that was, well, that was not the intention. And the other thing is, the people that built that thing, they bought the land as an investment also, figuring that in 20 or 25 years, when the full solar panels are defunct, it'll be a good piece of commercial property to own. So, I mean, that's okay if you're a company and you're making investments for the company long term, but for individuals, you know, in 20, 25 years, most of us in this room will be dead for a long, long time.
Yeah, Victoria says we have a great location for solar, but it'll cost us more than Eversource. So it's like, why? I wouldn't even see if my situation was like that. I wouldn't even entertain it. A lot of us working on a monthly budget don't care about anything else.
Yeah,
they don't. I mean, honestly, you know, we want to be green, we want to be efficient, you know, all this other great things, you know, and we're great for the environment. Pat me on the back. Here we go. But if it's going to cost me $100 more a month, Well, I don't want to be that efficient.
Well,
I don't want to be that green.
Well, I mean, the other part of that argument in favor of the solar, Mike, is that once you own them, for at least for as long as they're producing valuable electricity, your costs are not going to increase while the cost you're buying from EverSource will.
Yeah. You know, in the distribution costs, I don't understand why our politicians aren't doing anything about that.
Well,
Because they make too much money.
I just thought of what I was going to say earlier, and that is, I mean, we used to have integrated systems. I mean, EverSource used to have their own generators and their own plants and everything else.
Yeah.
Was that when it was CLMP?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was that. And the thought was if we have different branches of it, you know, these companies generate the power, these companies distribute it, et cetera, that it would be cost savings for the consumers. That's turned out to be a totally false premise, it appears.
Yeah, and that's what the legislatures did that because they thought they were going to help out the consumer.
Well, Paul, overall, legislators aren't the brightest people in the world.
Right.
Okay, and not only that, most of them have no technical training whatsoever.
Yeah.
And make the dumbest decisions you could possibly manage.
Here's another good point. Victoria puts out, and if you don't buy them, they put a lien on your house. So if you want to refinance, they have to be paid off.
Yeah, unless the buyer is willing to assume the lien.
It. Okay.
Yeah.
And just to finalize this conversation today, Daryl says, I'm going to train my cats to run in a hamster wheel to generate power.
There you go.
And he might be able to power a 5-watt light bulb.
If. All right. So as always, it's always been, we always go from one thing to another, but it's always interesting. And sometimes it's heated, sometimes it's not, but it's always something that's pretty good and usually relevant to what we do here in the town of Griswold and the borough of Jewett City.
But just going back, I thought I heard that Jewett City was going to raise something. We're going to do it for a rate increase. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
They are.
Yeah. At from what I've heard, the sewer plant is operating at a $400,000 a year deficit right now.
So that would be the sewer plant.
Electric too. And the electric is not operating at a deficit. I do not believe, but I don't know that information.
So I thought there was going to be a rate increase.
So just when we talked about earlier about, if you wanted to go ahead and we would appreciate any kind of support but we're going to give you something for it. We're not looking for donations. We want to sell you shit. So here's another one of the ornaments that we have for Christmas. They are locally made. I took the picture actually. There's the waterfall from Veterans Memorial Park. That's one of them. And the other one here is the gazebo. So if you want to support us and grab one of these ornaments that you can put on your Christmas tree or use them as a flying monkey disc, you can do that too. But contact me.
Are they heavy?
Oh,
that's good.
They're very light.
Very light. Okay.
6 ounces, 4 ounces.
Okay. Because with a Charlie Brown tree, you could
no, a Charlie Brown tree would be able to hold this.
Okay.
So if you want to get them for friends or whatever, we would appreciate the support here at SNSN. Then again, like I said, anything that I've come up with, to do, I thought maybe the community would like, nobody buys them anyway. We sell more out of town than we do in town. So
yeah, talking about trees, I wonder what the price of Christmas trees are going to be this year.
I don't know. Again, we need to have Court Kinney on.
I mean, think about it. Last year, the Christmas trees were way up as far as Christmas trees go. Can I imagine what the price they're going to be this year?
It's going to be worse this year with transportation costs.
Well, fortunately, we have enough tree farms around, but there's still a lot of people buying them. You're right. They come in from out of state.
Yeah. Just labor costs.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow, we are actually not going to have a show tomorrow. We were going to. We actually had some guests lined up, but I have to move them because I have another appointment that I have to it's actually at the high school. So that I want to go ahead and I already committed to. So my bad. But Wednesday we'll be back once again with Paul.
Yeah.
Maybe Jim. Who knows?
Yeah.
Depends on how Jim's feeling that morning. I go see the radio guys.
Sure.
Depends on what I got on my schedule, Mike. You know my schedule.
I know. You're crazy. But until then, we'll see you Wednesday. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you.
If I retired from my 6 town boards and commissions.
So much better. Ride insurance and ride rides. You buy better. You buy better. You buy better.
Summer is winding down, which means it's the perfect time to